What's up, guys? I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope the sound's not too loud. I'm gonna have to watch it back. Just this is the first time I've used this headset for doing a video. I've only used it on my live stream, so definitely let me know, guys, if that's good, and if the face cam is good as well. So definitely let me know on that, guys. Uh, so just trying to get the best way to lay it all out. But wel- welcome to my Money in the Bank 2023 predictions. This is where we'll be going through each match of the card and stating who we think's going to win and our thoughts on how we think the match will do. Um, if you have any comments, then post your thoughts and do your predictions as well, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. But let's jump straight into the first match. I think. Oh, and the way I've laid it out is exactly how I think. Well, for me, if I was to book the show, this is how I would lay out the show and which match goes where. So I would. Um, this is how I would lay it out. So to start the show off, you got the women's Money in the Bank. I think this one's quite. I do think it's a bit straightforward. I think they've gone a bit ba- basic with it all because Trish and Zoe are a tag. They're not winning. The only way Trish wins is if Zoe helps her. But Becky's going to stop that. So they're in a feud. So those three are irrelevant, if I'm being honest. They're not winning, which is annoying because I would love to see Becky go and win the whole thing. But they're in a feud. They're gonna run that out and probably to be till I don't know SummerSlam. I think they'll run that out till SummerSlam. I think. And then you've got Selena Vega. I think she's gonna have a good showing, but I don't think she's gonna be winning. I don't see her. I don't see her as that person who's gonna go and win it because they're pushing the faction of the LWO very strongly. But I just don't know that faction right now. I don't think they've done as well as I did want them to because at the moment it's a faction for Ray. I think there's a few names in there. I'm like, okay, this faction's doing some good stuff, but yeah, I don't think she's doing anything in this match in that sense. I think she'll have a good spots in this match, but in terms of winning it, I, I just I just don't see it. Um, and then it comes down to the last two, who I think either of these two, you got a good that's well booked. It should be between Bailey and Io. I'm going with Io. For one, she's my personal pick, but as well as I think she's the best pick because if let's say Io wins, you get your face turned for Io because she's finally done it where her leader couldn't, and she's failed again, and that will trigger a turn on Io, and that will be the end of Damage Control. I can see them doing that, not on this show, but with the weeks to come, and I think they'll build up to that point. If I wouldn't mind it going the other way, but I just think the better choice is Io. Io winning, and she goes for Asuka, and you do that within time. So SummerSlam is not close, and right now the plans right now are uh, Asuka Belair versus um, Flair, and by what they're doing, they're running that up to SummerSlam. You give Io her feud with Bailey. You do that up to I don't know either the next big show they got, or you run that up to SummerSlam, and it gives Io a strong feud for the fans to get behind her. I literally know the fans are already behind her, but it's just something extra. And then you've got something else for Io in that sense. if you do it the other way round, it could work. I just think Io's the best choice in this match. But yeah, it's definitely down to those two. I don't think the others should be considered. As much as I love Trish, I love Becky. I don't think they should even be in the running for winning this match. And we go into the next one, and we're using a slideshow for these matches as well, guys. So each time I talk about them, and then I finish talking about them, I click onto the next one. Just actually, if you guys weren't sure how I've laid it out. Next, we've got the IC title match. I think this is a straight up win for the champ. I don't think he's at risk of losing his gold. But what you will get from Riddle, you get what you always get from Riddle when it comes to wrestling. My issue with Riddle isn't wrestling. He's the best wrestler who's came from UFC. Like, you can say Brock is, okay, cool. But Brock ain't putting on those 20-minute wrestling clinics. Brock's someone who's going to come in and go and beat your ass. Like, Brock used to be someone that could do that, but he can't do that now. I'll say he has a household name, Brock. But right right now, Riddle. Riddle is brilliant in the ring. Like, he pulls a good match from literally anyone. Um, my my issue with Riddle is the what's the word? He's charisma. He's charisma. The stuff he does outside the ring, and he's got no character at all. His character is literally bro. That is literally his character. He's just saying bro. What sort of character is that? And that isn't his fault. That is creative just being lazy. But there's a top talent actually in Matt Riddle, but it isn't here, and he's not going to beat my guy. I'm hoping this guy has that belt for a very long time. I don't know who can beat him, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know if there's anyone that can go and beat this guy. I've seen some people say there'll be a return for the Viper in this match. Um, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much on returns unless I know. I'll talk more about those towards the end of the show, but I'll talk based on the matches. Just because those are the things that are guaranteed. But yeah, my vote here. The champion, I think, will have a tough run in from Matt Matt Riddle. He will put on a solid match, but he isn't beating my guy. This guy's going to be holding that belt for a long time. And I've literally got no issue with that. He's in the top five in the world at the moment. Like, literally no one is touching this guy in a wrestling sense. He's incredible. So yeah, this is a straight up win for Gunther. Let's go into the next one. This will be the third match on the card. This one. I say that one with a sigh because I'm a massive fan of Liv Morgan. So what I'm about to say might trigger Liv Morgan fans. How do I put this in the best sense? Um, let's just say they're not winning the belts back. I would love for it to happen. As someone who loves Liv Morgan, someone who I love the team up for her and Raquel, but they're not winning those belts back. They just made Shayna and Ronda dual champions for the women's, and they're going to be building this division around those two. If you like it or not, that's what they're going to do. I personally would have had them lose last weekend on SmackDown when it came to what's their name? Dawn and Fire. I would have had them to win, but because they've done what they've done, they're pushing these two to the limit, and It's not gonna have a good ending. It's not gonna be the ending that fans want it to be. So right here, I'm going with a retain for Rousey and Shayna. Um, it's gonna be probably the finish that I don't want. She's probably gonna be a tap out from Liv, um, from Rousey. They've been doing it on some of the live events, and they're probably testing the waters a bit on that. And I think that's what they're going for. Um, it's not the ending I want, but it's the ending that I think will happen. And from that point, I think you can get a heel turn from either Liv or Raquel. I think they're going to break the team up. If they don't win this match, I don't see where they're going to be going. And I think it's more than likely it's going to be a heel turn from Liv. Because where else does Liv go from there? Where does the tag go from there? Not going to turn Raquel heel, I don't think. If they do, I would prefer that. But I can just see Liv being the heel. Um, but yeah, my thoughts in this one. I think it's going to be a good match. They're both going to do what they do best. I'm not the biggest fan of Rousey and Shayna, but I give them props where it's due. Liv and Raquel have been a great tag. Um, it sucks that they might not win the gold here. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see them be champions again, but I've got to be as unbiased as I can, and I've got to take out my bias for Liv Morgan, and yeah, then not win those belts back. Let's go on to the fourth match, which is the men's Money in the Bank. There's a lot I've got to talk about on this one, a lot. So for this match, you got Priest versus Butch, versus Santos versus LA Knight versus Nakamura versus Ricochet versus Logan Paul. So the people that let's take these out straight away. The people that I don't think has any well, the worst finish for me would be Logan Paul winning. If he wins, it'll be the worst finish. That's not because he can't wrestle. It's because it makes no sense for him to win this match. The build, it makes no sense for him to win this match. There's no sense to it. There's no reason for him winning here. And then you got the others, Ricochet and Nakamura. I think they're going to be forming a tag, so they're not winning. They'll have a strong showing. Santos is there because he's good in these kind of matches, and he's a solid worker, but he isn't winning. He's got no chance, if I'm being honest. Like, with all due respect to him, like just as like Ricochet and Nakamura, they're not they're not doing anything. Then it comes down to the last three, and I think these last three have a really good shot. Butch, I'm dreaming and I'm hoping they scrap Butch and they put him back to being Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight. The crowd would lose their shit if the bruiserweight returned. They would like literally they would lose their absolute shit. But this is the creative, and I can't see them doing it. If they would have done it, they would have done it already. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up for them doing that. I've lost faith in them doing that. I just really hope I'm wrong there, guys. But until Butch changes back to Pete Dunne, I really actually couldn't care less. I really couldn't. And that's just me being completely honest. Until he goes back to being the bruiserweight, I don't care for him, and it's sad because he's a great talent. Um, then we move on to the last two, and this is a win-win. Whoever wins. Um, I personally would go with LA Knight just because he's so over. This guy is insanely over. He's meant to get booed, and he's being cheered every single week. But if they was to go with Priest, Priest can manage, and he can hack the heat. You saw it in when he faced Bad Bunny. He knows how to take heat. So if they weren't going to stick it on LA Knight, they should stick it on Priest. But me, I would go with LA Knight. That's who I would go with. And we're on to match 5. And this one is going to be a banger, I'm telling you. It's going to be brilliant. The storyline and the video stuff they've done for this match, incredible. It's been one of the best builds. Like these last 3 matches, the build's been really good. Well, Rhodes and Dom I will speak on, but the other two are absolute banging matches. And Seth, I think Seth will retain here. I don't think Balor wins. It doesn't make a lot of sense for Finn Balor to win, but the storyline is there for Balor that he could win. So I think you've got an unpredictable notion about this match. But I'm going with Seth. I don't think much will happen apart from just a great match. But there is a return that could happen, and I'll speak about that at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm going with my boy Seth. He's gonna have another match of the year with this match, and Finn, you know exactly what Finn Balor brings. The guy is the main level player. He's one of the best. So this is going to be one of my matches of the night, and but yeah, I'm going with Seth to retain here. And we go on to the next one. Apparently, so you got Rhodes versus Dom. Apparently on SmackDown they said this was going to be the main event. If this is the main event, or with all due respect, I'm going to be disappointed. This should not be the main event. If I don't mind if it's a co-main event with like Seth and Balor, and then you got the Usos versus the Bloodline. This should not be the main event. I think this build's been pretty poor, if I'm being honest. Very basic for what Rhodes can do and what Dom can do. I think it's a filler match. I feel a return is going to be happening in or as soon as this match is finished. Something's going to happen. It feels like a filler of bigger things to happen. That's what it is to me. So very brief, guys. It's tough to say who's going to win this one. I think Rhodes on paper. I'm going with Rhodes, and then I think you get a return when the match is finished. Um, but I know lots of people are going with Dom because of the unpredictable notion of Brock, and they think he's going to screw Rhodes. He's got no reason to screw Rhodes in the match. It'll be as soon as the match is finished. So if there is a return for Brock, it'll be when the match is finished. He literally don't give a damn about Dom. And this should be the main event. I don't care what anyone says. If this is not the main event, what the fuck actually are they doing? And sorry for the cursing, guys, but seriously, this is not the main event. They have lost their absolute minds. The only match that should main event ahead of this, if and that's a big bloody if, that is Balor versus Seth. Any other match, don't even bother. This this should be closing the show. This is the best storyline outside of Seth and Balor. That this storyline has been building. The entire storyline has been built for over 3 years. Like the only person who's been added into the equation is Sikoa. He's the only person that's been added very recently. But in terms of storyline, yeah, it's been built for over 3 years. The finish is really tough. Do the Usos lose? Do you have the Usos lose their first match back as a tag? It's so tough to call. I don't think the heel turn happens. Lots of people are saying Sikoa's going to turn heel on Reigns because they teased it on SmackDown. I don't think they turn. It's too early. I think they do it later on down the line, but just not yet. They've only just done the turn for the Usos. They're not going to go and give you that turn for Sikoa just like that. It's not going to happen. So I'm going with Reigns and Sikoa winning here. I think Reigns' main event star level experience is going to get him across the line, and I think he's going to pin Jimmy. I think Jimmy takes the pin here, and you get the storyline built up for Roman versus Jay at SummerSlam, and I think that's when the turn may happen. But not yet. But I think this is going to be one of the matches of the night. I'm very invested in the storyline, and yeah, very, very actually excited for the show, guys. Post in the comments what your predictions are, guys, and this is what I did want to mention at the end of the video. So we'll be going into this part of it now. What are, if you had to name 3 things you would want to see on this show, what would they be for it to be a successful show? For me, I will name mine. Number 1, bring back Randy Orton. A Randy Orton return would do it for me. Number 2, Drew McIntyre. Face or heel, I don't give a damn. You bring Drew back in and they're gonna love him. They love him. They love him in the UK. We absolutely love him, and I say we because I'm from the UK. So we absolutely love the guy. And honestly, that's where I would be at with it. And number 3 for me would be bringing back Pete Dunne as the bruiserweight. But those 3 things, I'm not. It's not going to decide what this card is for me. Like if those 3 things don't happen and we don't get any of those 3 things, will I be disappointed? Yes, because I don't like the Butch character and I miss those 2 guys. But it won't let the show down for me. But yeah, definitely post your thoughts and the 3 things that you would all want to see. And I'll quickly comment on the returns. I think you to do a return for the Viper. I think you have him either in the Dom match where he lays out Rhodes, because this guy I can't see him coming back as a face unless he gets involved in the Riddle one when the match is over and he helps out, but you never know what side he's going to pick. So if he was to return, it would be in one of those 2 matches, and for Drew it would be after the Balor versus Seth, and he'll lay out whoever wins. If And that's a big if, guys. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they was to insert those people into the show for their big return, that's what they would do. But they did tease about a return on their Twitter. Um, that was the WWE. I think they posted. You never know who's going to return. I honestly think we'll just get Brock. I honestly believe Drew won't come back. We won't get we won't get no Viper. We'll get no Pete Dunne. I honestly think when the match is done for Dom and Rhodes, I think Brock's gonna lay him out with an F5. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm hoping they're gonna be more ambitious than that. But my lack of faith with them when it comes to the returns is very small. But that's just my thoughts on that, guys. That's my predictions. Post yours in for comments. I'm going to be watching this live because it's 8 p.m. tonight in the UK. I will be watching that. I will be tweeting my thoughts. So if you don't already, then definitely go and drop me a follow on my socials. You've got all my social links in my channel, where you just got the social icons. You just click on them and it will send you right to my social media um, accounts. I think I've got my Instagram, which I've got to update because I've done lots of stuff on that. Twitter, and I think it's my Reddit as well. So, but the best place to get hold of me is on my Twitter, guys. I post a lot on there. So if you do want to get hold of me, then definitely go and check what I do out on there. But that's all for now, guys. That's my Money in the Bank 2023 predictions. Post yours in the comments, guys, and let's see who actually gets the most right. That is always the fun part. And post your top three things. What would make this show a must-watch show for you? So if outside of the matches, so don't think about the matches or who's winning. Name three things you would want to see if that's a return or just something else in the show. Like just name three things you'd want to see in this show that would put a smile on your face. I would love to hear it, guys. But those are my predictions, guys. Uh, put yours in the comments, and I hope you all have a great day. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thank thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye bye, guys.